You guys are tuned into Spiritual Beauty Ministry. So I remember when my husband had took him and I to go get a full body massage. Now, when I got to the place, I specifically said, I do not want a deep tissue massage. I don't like hard massages, and I don't want my feet being touched. But for some reason, when it came time for me to get my massage, I got exactly those two things. And I was livid. But I didn't want to speak up because I was like, she was already into it. She already put her time in, and I didn't want to make the situation awkward, and I didn't want to be that person, and I didn't want to feel uncomfortable. So instead of me speaking up about it, I just stayed in it. Then, so I got to a point to where I was so long in it to where I'm like, you know what, I got tired of it. And I said, you know what, excuse me, but I don't want deep tissue massage, and I don't want my feet being touched. So can you please like give me a soft massage, and can you please not touch my feet? Ain't no telling how long that woman probably been doing that. She probably been just like, they probably just been overlooking the needs of what the customer is saying that they're wanting and just doing their own thing. And sometimes we can keep people longer in something when they could have been out of it quicker. But the reason why they stayed longer in it is because you stayed silenced in it. And when you stay silenced to something that you know that can be changed, you are keeping them longer in their comfort, and you are keeping them in their change. See, it was my fault that kept me in a moment of uncomfort when I didn't have to be. I could have been admitted, hey, this right here is uncomfortable. I don't want this massage like this. I don't want my feet being touched. But instead of speaking up about it, I stayed silenced in it. It was my fear that was worried about, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. It was my fear that was worried about, I don't want them to be uncomfortable. It was my fear that was worried about, I don't want to be that person. It was my fear that was worried about what's that. I was too busy focusing on my fear that I kept my own self from being free. There are things that you're too focused on, and you have already played out the scenario of what's gonna happen if you face this thing. If I tell them that this is how they make me feel, or if I say, hey, you know what, I don't like this right here, I'm gonna either lose their friendship or you know, I may lose their boyfriend. So instead of me actually being changed, I'm gonna keep myself in change. And that's what's happening. There are things that God has called you to go. It's time for you to go face. You know you want to say something about it, but you don't want to deal with the uncomfort that comes with it. No, start being open about what has happened. Then that's how you won't find yourself being in those moments to when you feeling like, you know, you got built up issues inside of you and things hiding inside of you. Those are because of things that you have not faced within you. You have not faced that person. You have not faced that thing. You have not even faced you. And so now all of these things are taken and festering inside of you, all because of what you have not faced within you. And all you have to do is break the silence from you. Stop trying to focus and worry about their feelings and how it's going to make them uncomfortable. There are prisons that we have put ourselves in because of what we choose to stay silenced in. There are things that you are choosing to stay in when you should have been faced it. There are family issues that you should have been faced. There are things that you are hiding in that you should have been faced. It is time to face it. And until you face it, you are going to keep fighting it. There are prisons that you may be in right now to this day because of something that you chose not to face before. See, sometimes people don't know what they're doing to you, and sometimes they are just in it for so long, it's become their normal. So in order for them to be broken from it, you have to face the silence that has kept you in it. And what I want you guys to know is that you can address that pain. You can address that person. You can address that thing that has hurt you. You can address it. But what you don't want to do is that you don't want to undress. You don't want to undress your character. You don't want to undress with cursing and fighting and undress in ways that's not you. Undress with ugly and hateful words. You want to undress with morals. You want to undress with standards. You can break the silence but still have standards. And I want you to also know is that when you address the situation or address that person or that pain, you don't want to go in creating a war, but you want to know that you are going in to address it to walk out with a win.